Hey everyone, Winspitten here with another Warhammer battle report. So apparently at the end of my Lizardman game, a Tomb King army came on the exact same field and we had to fight again. So I guess everybody who had been wounded just stood back up and jumped in the ranks and got ready to go. So I was really excited to play this because it's the first time I've played against the new Tomb King army book. And it looks like just a kind of an interesting list, although I think it's very ill suited for the terrain that we have on board. So starting at my left, he's got some carrion, two bone giants, a scorpion. Then he's got this mammoth chariot unit. Now he has a general in there, and I don't know exactly what he has, but he's good in combat. He's not phenomenal in combat, but regardless, that's just a lot of hurt waiting to happen. He's got his Hierophant in the top right, and then, yeah, that's a better picture of the Hierophant. Some more carrion, a big horde of skeleton warriors, and he's got a priest character in there. And I don't know what he has, although if I remember correctly, I think he has a great weapon, and I just don't know what magic items he has. And then some archers. So facing him, I stuck my trebuchet here on the right-hand side. Got 4 peg knights, 40 men-at-arms, or possibly 39 of them. I don't know. Anyway, there's a damsel with a Dispel Scroll, Lore of Beasts, level 2. Let's see, starting on the right, I have Knight of the Realm unit with a level 4 caster with Lore of Heavens and Feedback Scroll. I've got a Battle Standard Bearer with a 2-up rerollable armor save. I've got a unit of Knights Errant with the Banner of Discipline, and with my Lord level General, and he's got Heroic Killing Blow, a 1-up armor save, and something else that I'm just forgetting. Oh, the Sword of +2 attacks. Then I have another Knight of the Realm unit. With this one has the Flaming Banner. So, and really that's it. That's it's fewer units than I'm used to having. So this is a picture of the Carrion vanguarding. My Peg Knights, I'm not sure they vanguarded. No, this is movement turn 1. So you can see he didn't move up too much on this side. I think, again, he's making me come to him. If you look at the top left, that's really tricky for him. He's got this huge unit of chariots, and there's so much terrain, he can't charge anything. Either he won't fit, or he's got to take dangerous terrain tests or something. So I think he's trying to lure me in and then hope that I fail a charge and then counter charge. So we go to Bretonnian turn 1. I'll go ahead and try getting the Peg Knights into the 1 carrying unit, and I think I needed a 9, an 8 or 9, and I got it. So I was very happy to see that, just to clear them out of the way. I decided just to go ahead and split my forces, let the Men-at-Arms and my Battle Standard Bearers unit go after the 2 blocks on the right, and have these 2 units over here go after everything else on the left. I would love to be able to get a dual charge into his chariots with those 2 units of knights on the left. So one thing I didn't mention, on his first magic phase, he got smiting off on his archers, and so they shot just a ton of arrows at my Peg Knights, and with all that, he only did 1 wound. So kind of unfortunate shooting on his part. So close up before the fight, and after the fight, I thought my Peg Knights were going to be stuck at that Elven Waystone. I thought that when you pursued, you had to use your ground movement. But the other people at the table said that's not true. You could actually fly, so I could fly over the Elven Waystone. So my Peg Knights are in a better position than I expected them to be. But I wasn't worried either way, because if he charged me with anything, I was just going to flee, and I didn't think anything he had was going to be able to get past that Elven Waystone. So we go to Tomb Kings turn 2. You can see on the right, he's just, again, kind of holding back. If you look on the left, yeah, his chariots, again, he doesn't have anywhere in the middle of the table to go, because that swamp in the middle would be a dangerous terrain test, and there's a chance that he would fail on a 1 or a 2. I'm not positive about that, but you notice the distance between the swamp and the Waystone is just perfect for a unit in lance formation to get through. So over here he charged, there's 2 bone giants and a scorpion. I don't know what he charged with. I think he ended up charging with 2 things because on the first one, I knew he was going to. I think he charged with the Scorpion, and I held, and they charged with the Bone Giant, and I just ran away. If he'd used his carry in there in the middle to charge them, I think he would have charged me off the board or would have easily caught me. But he didn't forget about it. He knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to use the carrion to redirect my big block of knights. So it gives me a good chance of rallying my peg knights later on. So here again, I think he's hoping that I move up and try to charge and fail or something like that. So to go Bretonnian turn 2. So starting on the right, I realized that the distance to the archers was just the same as the distance to the horde. And I know I probably didn't say this earlier, but my prophetess has the crown of command, so that unit's stubborn. So what I was thinking I would do is, I first thought I'd charge the men-at-arms into the archers, but I didn't want to face their stand and shoot. So I just took my Knights of the Realm into their flank. I really can't imagine not beating them and then overrunning. If I get lucky, I'll overrun far enough to where I'll be out of sight of his horde. And if not, and he charges me, I should be able to hold, and then my men-at-arms can countercharge. So I kind of actually liked the different options there. Here on the left, I couldn't get my second block into his chariot unit, so that's why they just went ahead and charged the carrying unit that was blocking them. I went ahead and took my Knights Errant into them, and normally I wouldn't have done that with a big unit of Knights Errant, but because it has my general with 6 attacks with heroic killing blow, I like that. I think with the first round I'm going to get a challenge with my champion and his king, and so it gives my general a chance to just knock out some chariots, and then, after that it'll be probably a challenge between his king and my general, and I like my chances there. So again, normally I don't think I would like the odds there, but with my general I do. Peg Knights Rally, which I thought was better than the alternative. Here's the heroic Knights Errant into his king, and the move that caught most people off guard. Now, that's the picture as soon as I moved it, but I actually had to take some dangerous terrain for that swamp, and or that wall, and I lost 2 to the dangerous terrain tests. So now during the magic phase, if you look at the token on my general's unit, that means they have harmonic convergence, so they are re-rolling all 1s, which I just love on a unit of knights, because the reason you rubber lance is because you roll a 1 or a 2 when trying to hit. Usually, sometimes you don't hit on a 4. Anyway, just those re-rolls are just wonderful. If you look at the very top middle, you'll see a red token. I was able to place the Comet of Cassandora right behind him, so I like the odds of them helping me get that unit whittled down more quickly. You notice this charge was just devastating to him. My general killed 1 outright with killing blow, did several wounds on another. All those knights did a bunch of wounds, and then just with all the combat res, just popped a bunch of them. So really, really like how that went. I really think I'm going to win that combat in the long run, unless he can get a Bone Giant into my flank. So here at the bottom, we easily beat the carrion, did not overrun. I stayed still because if he charges me with the Bone Giant, I'm going to run. I don't remember the stats and special rules on those guys, but I remember when he described it to me, it scared me. It scared me pretty good. So here after battle, I won, overran, and almost made it, but not quite. He can still barely see my unit. So on his turn, he charges the rear of that unit, which looks wonderful. But then again, I mean, he's only strength 3 on most everything, and I'm stubborn. So I don't think he's going to kill enough knights to do a whole lot there. He does, if you look on my knights running away. Yeah, he declared a charge with 2 bone giants. I think I held against the first, and then thinking I might be okay. But when the second one charged, I just ran away. There was nothing to be gained there. So close up of that. And you see after combat, he's in a challenge with my general. Basically, it's a big pillow fight. Nobody did anything to each other. Other than that, between wounds and combat res, you can see he didn't wound me, I don't think, and I obviously did some on him and just had combat res on him. So he's whittled down more. I don't like to see that Scorpion turn, but at least I've got another round of combat before he's going to be there. Now he issued a challenge with his prince, which brought my BSB back, and I'm okay because he's got a 2-up rerollable, and I think he has a decent chance of surviving. Now, his prince, I think, was there's a 3 modifier on my armor save. So basically, every time he does a wound on me, I have 3 chances to roll a 5 or better in order to save it, with 2 armor saves and a ward save. Um, the real stupid thing I did was after combat was over, I held, and I didn't think to reform so that he wouldn't be in my rear, because right now, on his next turn, he can fight my prophetess. And it was just absolutely silly on my part to not reform. I obviously just wasn't thinking. So on my turn, I do get the rear charge. This was actually 50-50 on whether I was in his flank or his rear. I'm not sure either of us cared too awful much. It wasn't really a big deal, but we just rolled it off, and I said I was in his rear. During the magic phase, I was able to get the +1 strength and toughness buff, and I put it on my Knight of the Realm unit to help protect my prophetess, as well as my BSB, who's in that challenge. So over here, my Peg Knights move up. What I'd really like to do is get them over to start threatening his Hierophant, but I need to distract these giants a little bit, because I don't need them tearing into my general's unit. During the shooting phase, for the first time in forever, my trebuchet actually does something. I land a rock on a bone giant's head and totally crush him. Did 6 wounds on him. And then you can't really see it, but if you look at the general's fight at the very top, I get harmonic convergence off again on my knights. And then I get the curse of the midnight wind, I think it was, but where he has to re-roll 6s. So that's combat's just not looking good for him because of the magic buffs. And like I said, during my magic, I got the toughness buff, so you can see that his prince and my battle standard bearer have traded wounds. But other than that, we won combat by a bunch. He lost, I want to say, 17 models between wounds and combat res. So this combat, unless something drastic happens, I think I've got. It's going to take me just a little bit to go through that many models, but I'm certainly well on my way to doing it. And I didn't even think of reforming my guys into a horde formation, which was certainly an alternative. I'm not sure if I wanted to or not, but things there were looking very, very good. And then over here, with all the rerolls going on, did very well. He put a wound to my general. I still haven't done anything to his general, but at the same time, every time we go to fight, all it takes is me rolling a 6 when it comes time to wound, and he's gone. So happy enough with how that's going. Then we started turn 4. Now, up to this point in the game, he's had 3 turns. His magic phase has yielded extremely little. All he's got is that 1 Hierophant, and he's just not really doing much. We went to turn 4, and his magic phase, he rolled like 12 dice, and he failed his first cast, and he just conceded, and it was late, and we were tired, so we just ended the game right there. So, um, you know, unfortunate in a lot of ways. I mean, this big nasty unit of movement 9 chariots on a battlefield where there's no place for them to move certainly didn't help him. And having no magic to buff, I think, was devastating to his battle plans right there. So there you have it. First game against the Tomb Kings. Hope you enjoyed it.